So this is the plantain when it's very ripe. A lot of people think that when they see plantains in the store and they're going, they're just getting ripe, where you're seeing a lot of black stripes on the yellow skin. People think they're going bad, and they pass them off as, no, I'm not going to buy it because it's already bad. But you see how that color there in the middle? I mean, I've cut a piece for you so that you can see. See, it's not gone bad. It's just very, very ripe. At this point, it's super, super sweet, and there's a lot of sugar in it. And this is how I like them. My father likes them still ripe. I don't like them ripe because they're not sweet. He likes them ripe like that and poached, but I don't like them poached. I like them very, very, very sweet and fried. So I'm going to show you guys how I do it. My parents taught me how to do it, and my grandmother. So that's the plantain is very, very ripe. So don't be afraid to buy a very, very black plantain, because it's the best results for the sweetest plantain chips. Okay, so I'm going to go and let me show you. Hold on. Oh, just reaching. Here are the plantains that I've already sliced from another piece that I had. I had another piece, so I've sliced these ones up. Okay, I'm gonna fry them now. I'll show you that next. Okay, folks, so I have now just chopped up the rest of the plantain, and here's the skin. Well, this is half of the skin. It's kind of pretty. It's really pretty. This is the inside of it, right here. So now it's gotten dark because I guess when it's, yes, I know, Uma. I know my cat's behind me. She's meowing. Oh, she's asking for food. It's already 12:41. Oh, okay. Hold on, Uma. Hold on. I'm almost done. Hold on. I'm coming. Just a minute. Yeah. So I was just saying that, once you open up the peel, it gets it's already kind of dark, but it's since gotten darker because when it's exposed to the air, then it starts to get darker. So I know I'm coming, monkey. Just a minute. Okay, so that's the skin. Very pretty. So remember, do not pass up a super dark plantain just because it's this dark. It's not rotten. It's still as perfect as ever. It's just developed at the point where it's so saturated with a lot of sugar. Okay, so now okay, they're frying now. And one thing, just a minute, Mikey, hold on. Do not, when you fry, we don't normally fry, but if you're gonna fry, use virgin oil, extra cold pressed, extra virgin coconut oil, because coconut oil has a very high level of high burning point, right? So any other oil is a carcinogen. So right now we're all out of olive oil. So, but what I'm using is olive oil, which is actually the worst type of oil one of the worst oils to be frying with, because it's got a very low burning point. So it burns really, really easily. And if you're going to be frying things in any oil, any oil aside from coconut oil, remember, it is a carcinogen. Carcinogen means it causes cancer. Right now, this is just like a one-time thing. What I'm doing here is just a one-time thing because we're all out of olive oil, coconut oil, and it's for the sake of showing you guys how to make this. Okay, so I'm from Ecuador, and this is what we eat in Ecuador, and this is what I grew up with. And so I forgot to also mention that this is the first process of making. They're called patacones, right? But I like them see, some people like to fry them just like that. Like, you'll just cut them up into little coins like that, or medallions, and then you just fry them like that, and then you have to flip them over after they're golden brown. Some of them look like no, not yet. They're golden brown, and then you wait till that. Sorry guys, I was just shooing a fly away. That's why the camera shook. And then once you turn them over, and you wait for that side to be golden brown, then you remove them, and you place them on a plate that has some paper towels already. I'll show you after, but you place them on paper towels and you let them soak there. I mean, let the paper towel absorb all the oil, and then you eat them. But I'm gonna show you. I don't like them like that. I don't like them like the way I just explained. You fry them, and you flip them to the other side. Wait till it's golden brown, and then you take them out. Let the paper towel absorb all the oil and eat them. No, I like them squished. I like them really, really flat and squished and crispy, and I will show you how I will do that. So that's why, if you guys notice this rock here, this is my grandmother's rock that she's been using since I was my brothers and I were little children, like we were wee little children, and she's been using this rock to squish the plantains so that they become nice and squished and crispy after they finish frying. Okay, so I'm going to stop this now. I have to feed my kitty cat, Uma, and and I'll be back. Okay, see you. Now I'm going to turn them around and see. Well, I'm just going to see. Okay, well, they are, for what I'm doing, they're perfect for flipping over, because when you're making patacones, right, like the style, the kind that I'm making, like the way that I'm making them, where I'm going to be squishing them and then putting them right back, because that's what I forgot to tell you guys. I'm going to be putting them, you see right now what I'm doing to get the flat squishy patacones, I'm just browning them on one side, and then I'm going to brown them on the other side, and they're going to be raw in the middle. Then they're in the center, they are raw. So once the other side of these guys are brown, then I'm going to turn those over. Well, what I meant to say is, once the side that's the unbrowned side is already brown, then I have to remove them and place them on a plate or a cutting board, whatever you're using. And then I'm going to use that rock to squish them. And once I've got them squished at the squishiness that I want, that I like, then I'm going to put them right back in here. I'm being very slow because I'm using my left hand and I'm not left-handed. And it's hard for me to use my left hand. But strangely enough, lately, in the past few years, I've been able to use my left hand. I've just been using my left hand for things for some reason. Sorry. I keep lowering the camera angle because I'm looking somewhere else. I'm just looking over the camera. Yeah, so I've been able to use my left hand for things for some reason. I don't know why. Well, I think that's the Lord. I think He's making me ambidextrous, which means you have the ability to use both hands in the same fashion as though you were using the hand that you do most things with. Oh, I can't get that one. Also, another thing, it's if you have a spoon or a scooper or a that has like holes like this, it's good to use it, because when you're removing the plantains from the oil, you're able to kind of drip the excess oil from them. Yeah. And yeah, so anyway, my mother taught me how to my parents taught me how to do everything. So they taught me how to place, you see these foil papers, right? They taught me how to put those foil papers around there so that the oil doesn't splatter all over the place. But since I'm using olive oil, I have to use a very low temperature so that the oil doesn't burn. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Oops, sorry. I like my patacones very, very crispy, very flat and squishy. And my family, they're like, They don't really like them like that. They don't like them like that at all. I'm the only one in my family. I mean, they could eat them, but they don't prefer them. My brothers don't really like them the way I make them. No, one of my brothers doesn't like it the way I make them. I think it's Robert, but I think he would still eat it. But Robert and my father's favorite are when they're just like this. They like them just like that. They don't really care for the squishy, but they can eat the squishy, but they don't like. They prefer this. This is their favorite when they're just left like fat medallions like that. But my grandmother and my mother, they really love them when I make them squishy. But they tell me I make them too squishy, but they still like them. And I think Jimmy, I don't think he cares. Jimmy doesn't really care about. I mean, he has his preferences, but he's not too fussy. I don't think he's that fussy when it comes to these patacones. So this one here is not done yet. And also another thing is, you see, this plantain is super, super, super ripe. So that's why it's really, like, it's very, they're just really squishy. You have to be very careful so that you don't break them apart or anything. That's another thing when my parents they tell me, you know, if you're gonna make this, they're not really suitable for making them the way I like them. Like when they're overripe, which is what they are right now, they're not very suitable for the, you know, the squishy one that I like. But that's how I like them. Because they fall apart, but I know how to do it, how to make it so that they don't fall apart. Come on. You see, that's not ready. If I'm going to take this out right now and make them squishy now, it will completely fall apart. Uh-oh. Don't tell me. Okay, there we go. It's hard to see. Right now I'm looking through the viewfinder, so it's difficult for me to manage these patacones like through the viewfinder. And also I'm using my left hand. Okay. My mother went out shopping. Okay, so yeah, she just left. I hope she buys me my favorite chocolate, double fudge chocolate cookies. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to go out and do it. Oh, I have to go. You know what? I have to tell you guys a story. Okay, this one's almost ready. So, almost a month ago, I made my favorite cookies. You know, those yummy, yummy cookies that in one of my videos, I told you guys that I like, right? So, and normally when I make things, I make tons of stuff. I like to go overboard because I don't like making just a tiny bit and then it finishes and then I have no more. So, okay, hold on a minute. I have to get ready. I have to get ready for, see, I've got to get this. I have to get this because it's time for, I think it's, okay, that's syrup from, from the plantain. Okay, so I'm just going to place that there and I'm going to get some paper towel and there we go. Okay, so what was I saying? So about a month ago I made these cookies, right? So like I said, whenever I make something, whatever it's going to be, I always make a ton of stuff. Hold on a minute. I'm just going to have to bring this over here and be very careful not to catch anything on fire. So whenever I make anything, I make a ton of stuff. And I'm happy with that. Right? There we go. Come on. Come on. Yeah, and then I'm very, very happy. So every time I make my cookies, I will make over maybe close to 200 of them. It's very close to 200. And but like when I was making them last month, I made sure that I was going to come out with the same amount, at least close to 200 cookies. And after I was done, no, actually when I was in the process of making them into the little like their shapes, you know, the cookie shapes, to put them on the cookie sheet and then into the oven, I noticed that my I'm sorry guys, I'm having a hard time concentrating on what I'm saying and what I'm doing here. So I noticed that while I was at the point when I was already, after I had made the dough and I was making the cookie shapes, I noticed that the amount of cookie dough that I had made had reduced. And I'm like, hold on a minute. How did my cookie dough reduce? How did it get reduced? That doesn't make any sense. I know how much I used 8 cups of flour, and that always produces close to 200 cookies. So I was wondering, hold on a minute. I was so puzzled, and the expression on my face was like, what? So then, I didn't think anything. Well, I did think stuff of it because I'm like, what's going on here? This doesn't normally happen. Every time I make 8 cups of cookie dough, it produces nearly 200 cookies. So I just continued making, whatever I had. I was very disappointed. And by the time, long story short, by the time I was, finished baking all of the cookies, I had less than 200 cookies. And I couldn't figure it out. But then after I started thinking, I'm like, Oh, I said, oh, now I know what happened. This has happened to me before. You see, the Lord knows that I'm very addicted to the cookies that I make. Everybody who tries my cookies, they go crazy for them. They really go nuts. Everybody goes nuts for my cookies. They go crazy, and they can't stop eating them. And that's how I am. I can't stop eating them, and I go through them very fast. Very, very fast. And so I know what happened. See, the Lord reduced the cookie dough to keep me from eating, a lot of cookies, because one thing is, whenever I go and get my blood test, the doctor tells me I'm in perfect health. But recently, like when I went to get my blood tested last year, the doctor said, well, everything is perfect. The only thing is your cholesterol is at the okay level, right? And if it's at the okay level, then that's not good, because, I'm not suffering, I'm not sick, but I have to be very careful. So I had to stop. Ugh. Come on. I had to stop eating my favorite double fudge chocolate cookies that I buy at our nearby grocery store. How am I going to get this one out? So I had to stop doing that. And so I did that, and then my cookie dough, my what's it called? My blood pressure, my cholesterol went back to normal. Okay, so I stopped eating them for months. And then I went right back to eating my yummy double fudge chocolate cookies. And I went to get another blood test about a month and a half ago, and no, 2 months ago. And then, was it, how much, when did I go get it? Yeah, about a month and a half ago. Yep. I got my blood test about a month and a half ago, and then the doctor said everything is perfect, and my blood level, my cholesterol is at the okay level. So, and then I made the cookies. And then that's when I started making my favorite cookies, and then that's when I noticed that my dough had been reduced. That's because the Lord doesn't want me to, like, He wants me to, I'm going to have to use this here. Oh, I don't have, my pot holders are somewhere. What are they called again, guys? They're not, I call them pot holders. Those things that you use, pan holders or whatever, to keep your hands from getting burned. Anyway. So I'm just going to put that there because I have to squish them now. So then anyway, the Lord, He reduced my cookies because He doesn't want, He says, hey child, come on. You have to control yourself. Control yourself. Okay, wait a minute. Let me just put this over here then. Put that there. Okay. So now I'm going to take this. Don't worry, I'll get that one. And I'm going to come over here. Yeah, so the Lord, He reduced my cookie dough, and that's why now I understand why they were. Well, I've got to put these ones in there. Ooh, mommy, don't get burned. Okay. So, and so then now I understand why. Oh, I have a better idea. I'm just gonna. Oops. Okay, put that. Okay. Where did my Kleenex go, guys? I need my paper towel. What did I do with it? Where's my paper towel? Oh, here it is. Is it here? Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to put that there. Put it here. And go back because I forgot all about these guys, that the extra ones that I had. They still need to fry. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that there, and then I'm gonna take this here and put that there, and take my grandmother's rock and put it there, and take this. Maybe I should use this to. Ooh, that's hot. No, okay, because I'm just making a big mess, grabbing things, and then I have to grab the handle, and that's gonna get all sticky. So I guess I'll just use this. Okay, so whoops. So yeah, we'll put that there. And yeah, so the Lord was telling me, slow down, daughter. I'm just laughing because the Lord's always doing that. He's always doing that. And he also tells me, like, okay, I'll just finish the story. He says, you have to slow down. You can't be always gobbling cookies like that. You have to slow down. You can't be a glutton, but it's so hard. It's very difficult. And guys, if you guys have heard my story, my story for why I'm so thin, like I do have a video for that. If I remember, I will try and remember to post the link. And if I don't post it, then just ask me, guys. Send me a message in the comment section. For you guys who are watching on my blog, send me a message in the comment section and request the video for why I'm so thin. And for you guys watching on YouTube, message me, send me a message in the leave a message in the description box. Come on. My mother doesn't like it when we bang on the thing. I don't like it either. Oh, did it come down? You see? Okay. Because it makes too much noise. So yeah, so you guys just I'll tell you guys why I'm so thin. Anyway, so I'm 105 pounds, and I'm 5'3.5". I used to be 125 pounds, and like I said, if you want to know more about my story, then just go to the link and just view it there and find out more. So my point is, even though I'm 105 pounds, I used to be 125. Even though I'm 105 pounds, it doesn't mean that you still cannot get cholesterol. We've got to be very careful with that. So yeah, so anybody out there who is really thin and thinks that they can eat anything they want, no. Our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, and we have to be very careful what we put in our bellies, in our mouths, okay? And I know that I'm guilty of eating stuff in my mouth, putting stuff in my mouth, going in my belly that is not good for me, going overboard, like those chocolate fudge cookies. Even if they're healthy, we can't go overboard. But even though I'm saying this, guys, it's still hard for me to control myself. Yeah, it's really hard for me to control myself. And oh yeah, so I was saying earlier that the reduction of my cookie dough has happened to me before. It has happened to me several times before, but it never clicked in my mind, like in my head, like the reason, like why it could be happening. But now, finally, last month, when I made, after, in the process of making my cookies, where I thought I was going to be making like 200 cookies, then I realized, oh, the Lord, He reduced my dough on purpose. And normally, like when I make like the 200 cookies, you have to have like gigantic plastic or some kind of containers. And so we normally, we have to we have to find like really big containers to store them all in. And this time, it had been reduced, the dough was reduced by so much that all I needed was a great big giant container to fit all. I'm laughing because the Lord's making me laugh. He tickles me sometimes. Yeah, I just used a big container and another container that was really small. Oh, that's funny. The Lord's making me laugh. So it was because normally I use a great big giant container and then another giant container that's half that size, and then the Lord's making me laugh, guys. He's tickling me. And then I'll use like a small container, but this time it was only the great big giant container and then the wee tiny one. So he's saying, control yourself, children. He doesn't want anything bad to happen to us. Oh yeah. In the meantime, while those ones are cooking over there, then I have to make these ones squished. So now they have, oops, I was just laying that there. I was laying it there. Okay, let me move over closer to where the sun is because the window's over there. And get some more light over here. You can see it better. Okay, so there's not going to be enough room to squish them. Okay, well, they're still hot, but I can still, oh! They're hot way inside there. Okay, you just have to be careful when you're holding them because, ow! And if there are any children watching, you cannot do this by yourself. You have to have an adult or, an adult, okay? Or like an older sibling, like a way older sibling who does have permission to cook by themselves. Like maybe someone who's 15 years old or 16 years old, but not like anybody who's like 8 years old or 10 or 11 or 12 or 13 or maybe even 14. But you just have to have an adult, you guys. You guys have to have an adult there because you guys just can't start cooking like that. And because it's dangerous. Now, it's very difficult for me to do this because I've never done this while I'm filming. So you see how I'm squishing it? And be very gentle because if you squish it too much, it's going to turn into nothing. Okay, it's going to turn into nothing. Okay, so that's how I like them because the edges get really crispy. Okay, so I'm going to hurry up because those other ones are cooking. One time, guys, when I was in Alaska, and the home where I was, with the home that I was visiting, he had some, like the owner of the house had these visitors, this couple, and I was making, and they're very nice people, right? And me and my friend, we got to meet them, and because I was there with another friend, we were just hanging out. So me and my friend, we got to meet this couple, and one day I was making some food. And the thing is, I had no idea, my friend and I had no idea that this couple were going to be coming over to our house. Our house meaning the house that we were being hosted at. Right, the house where we were staying while we were there. So they came over. Oops, this one just turned into nothing. You see, it kind of turned into nothing. But you can still fry them because they still turn out, they still come out crispy, and whatever the shape they are, they still come out nice. So I started making some food. Oh, and my friend and I didn't know that this couple was coming over. And so when they came over, because they were staying they had an RV, right? So they were staying on the property of the house of where we were staying. They were just next door to us. So just one day, this couple just came over and hanging out with the owner of the host whose house we were staying at. This couple came over, and I was in the process of making dinner for me, my friend, and the host, right? And I'm like, oh, they're here, and we can't just, I mean, we're about to have dinner, and dinner's almost ready. And we have to give them food. We have to, also offer the couple some food because, you can't just make dinner for yourself and not give the visitors any food. And I was panicking, like inside. I'm like, oh no, this is not enough food, because I didn't expect, my friend and I were not expecting to have any visitors. No, we were not expecting any visitors. So there was no reason for me to make enough food for extra people. So I was just panicking, and I'm like to my friend, what am I going to do? There's no time to make what I was making. I forget what I was making, but it was the kind of food that you don't have the time. You need to prepare well in advance to make what I was making. So my friend's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. We'll just, just mix from everything that you're already making. Just mix it up, and hopefully it will increase. And in my mind, I'm like, no, that's not going to increase, because if you don't have enough, whatever you do to it, it's not going to increase. So but I said, okay, I'll just do what you say, even though I knew that's not like a method that's really going to work. Uh-oh, just a minute. Oh, hold on, I've got to grab this thing. Oh, I better turn down the heat. So you guys, when something like this happens, the best thing to do is, okay, when they kind of get burned like that, not burned, but extra golden brown, extra golden brown. After, I'll show you, when I'm doing them. When you're at the point when you're making them squishy, you do not refry them on this end, otherwise they will burn. Okay, so I was just rambling on. That's why they kind of got too brown, but they're so good. Okay, so I was saying, I knew that, hold on, come on, hurry, come on. All right, so I knew that mixing everything that I was already cooking, putting it together, was not going to produce or increase any more food. It's not going to do that, right? So, but I just put it together, and I said, well, it is what it is, and let's hope that something works. This might work. But still knowing that it's not physically possible for it to work. I was just wishfully thinking. So anyway, I did that, and I put the food together, and I started, finishing off what I was doing. It was some kind of a stir fry. And you know what, guys? By the time I finished putting everything together and everything was already finished cooking, guys, the food grew. And there was so much. There was so much food. And at the time, this was back in 2011. This is when it happened, this incident. Well, not incident, but this story. It happened in 2011. And at that time, I had no idea, what could possibly be the reason for why this food would multiply like this. It became so much. It was huge. It became like the pot was so full. Okay, it was so full. And I'm like, how did this happen? It's not possible. I know how much food was in each pot that I was already cooking in. And by me putting them together, to stir fry, to finish off cooking everything, it's impossible for it to have grown this much. Right? But I didn't know, guys. That the Lord Jesus, just like he did when he was asking the little boy, when he told one of the apostles to feed the mass, the crowds, I think about 5,000 people, or maybe slightly a bit more than that, feed these people. And the apostles were like, well, we don't know, we can't. We only have like 2 fish and I think of, I don't know, 3 loaves of bread. I forget how the story goes. And then the Lord just, he took the food and he gave thanks to God and then he multiplied it. And that's exactly what happened on that day. Guys, that's exactly what happened on that day when I was cooking all that food. Well, the little bit of food that turned into a ton of food. It multiplied and I had no idea, guys. I had no idea in my brain, I couldn't figure it out, that it was the Lord Jesus that did that. I had no idea. Make sure that you replace this. And if you don't want to replace it, you don't have to. It's just for the sake of being a little bit more neat. So I'm just going to put that there until I get rid of it. And I'm going to get some more and put that there. So yes, sorry everybody, my camera stopped recording again. It does that sometimes. Okay, so I was saying that it was a miracle and I couldn't figure it out. I was so puzzled for so many years, and then finally it was either sometime last year or this year that I figured it out. I'm like, I was just thinking about that day and I'm like, oh, it was the Lord and I never gave thanks to him for that. I have, of course, given him thanks since, but I just didn't realize that it was him at the time. Yeah, that's the first time that's ever happened. When it, about the food multiplying, but when it came to reducing, then the Lord worked the miracle to reduce my cookie dough so that I wouldn't eat so much, or so many, I should say. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just adjusting my hand on the camera. Yeah. So how about that, guys? Pretty cool, huh? How amazing that is, how the Lord works. Okay, so pretty soon these guys, I've just raised the temperature again. So I want these guys to hurry up so that I can show you the end result of the other squishy ones. Yeah. Come on guys, hurry please. Hurry, 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 hurry. Okay, I think we're getting some almost done. Let me see. Let me see. Yes. Oops. Oops. I'm just swinging this thing all over the place and the oil is probably gonna, I didn't want it to fall on the part of the stove that does not have the foil paper. You know what? I also have like a cooking fork. You know those gigantic forks? They have, like, it's a two-pronged, is that the term? Anyway. Sorry about the blurring, guys. It's my camera going in and out of focus. Put it there. The fork is much better. I'm just taking so much time. Come on. Move these over this way. Away from the oil. Move them over this way. It's better because it goes away from the oil. Put it there. Come on. See? They get sticky. That's... it's frustrating. Frustrating. Very frustrating. Come on. Oops. Don't move. Get there. Hurry up. Lie there. Oh, I'm so tired, guys. I'm so tired. I've not been able to sleep for a long time. Well, that's because the Church of Christ is going through a radical change in this season, and a lot of us are seeing like radical miracles, breakthroughs, all kinds of stuff, things that we've been waiting for. And the devil knows that. He knows that we're all about to go into our breakthroughs, and some of us have already gone into breakthroughs. And he's been keeping a lot of us up at night because he just wants us tired and just overwhelmed. But we still have to keep going, guys. We have to keep moving forward. We can't let him win. So now I'm not going to do these guys because you've already seen me do that. So I'm just going to show you what these guys are going to look like after they are done, you know, being fried. So yeah, you know, we are in a time right now where a lot of Christians, a lot of like people that are truly walking in the Lord, because not every Christian, this one needs to be squished a little more. And I'm doing it with my finger. Not every Christian is going to be receiving these breakthrough, because they're just Christian in words only. They don't have any fruits. They don't show the Lord any works for him. They're not living right for him. They're not representing him as he wants them to. They're not living right. They'll go to church whichever day is their Sabbath, and then, you know, for the rest of the week they act like the devil. They swear, they go out to clubs, they hang out with friends they were supposed to leave in their past once they supposedly gave their lives to Christ. You know, they watch reality shows that have potty mouths, you know, just filthy shows with people talking about their personal lives and exposing their personal lives, and you know, just things that don't make things that don't make any sense to their own life, things that don't really contribute to their lives, things that have no value in their lives. These are the kinds of things that people are taking in. You know, I remember when I used to watch reality shows like years ago, I had no idea that I was filling my mind with garbage. And these reality shows, they really affect you, right? Because you get into it, you get mad at what's happening to one person, and you wish that person would, you know, do something about what's going on with whatever situation. It's just all garbage. You know, we're consuming we are allowing our minds to be consumed by things that don't matter, because there are more important things that we should be taking, you know, that we should be taking care of, like telling people about the Lord Jesus, you know, doing something, getting involved somewhere, volunteering or doing something. Like, just do something that the Lord knows that you know that the Lord is going to be pleased with, you know. So yeah, and it's okay to watch educational shows, you know, like in the History Channel they'll have, you know, something about the history of a war that happened in a country, and you're learning about what happened in that certain country and how a war took place there and what the results were and how, you know, the developments since then or whatever, you know, just those kinds of things like that, right? So yeah, or shows about making a house or selling a house or repairing a house, or a gardening show or a fishing show. Or, by the way, I don't like sport fishing. I think that's a very cruel activity. I mean, there's no reason to pick up a fish just to look at it and then put it back in the water. You know, that's really, it's a grossly cruel activity. I think it's gross, and shame on people for doing that. Shame on them, because they're making God's animals to suffer, and there's no need for that. Okay, so yeah, so what was I saying, guys? I was talking about, you know, being, you know, just being useful to the Lord, you know, and but I forget what I was talking about before that. Anyway, you guys get my point, I'm certain, because I'm sure I spoke enough about whatever I forgot about for you guys to get my point. So it's just important to, you know, we have to just, oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Now I remember. Our breakthroughs, for a lot of Christians, our breakthroughs are not happening because of the way we are conducting ourselves. And for others, they're happening because we have been faithful to Him. Like, a lot of us have been faithful to Him, and For those of us who have been going through a lot of storms, you have been faithful to him. And just keep moving forward. Keep pushing through, because, you know, the Lord speaks to me and he tells me which prophets are of him and which ones are not. Right? Like Brian Carn, that's one of God's prophets. Benny Hinn, a lot of people don't like Benny Hinn. They think he's a false prophet. He's not. He's real. Also, Creflo Dollar, he's a good man. He's a true teacher of the Lord. T.D. Jakes is also a true man of God. Marcus Lamb and his family, they're all true people of God. Also, John Paul Jackson, he was just like the others that I just mentioned, he's a true prophet of the Lord. He's since gone on to heaven. He went, I believe it was in 2015, shortly before Valentine's Day. Yeah, I was crying one day and I was so upset because he was crying, and I was so crying, and I said, Lord, why did he have to go so soon? And then I heard God say, you will see him again. So that was even though he said that, I was still sad, but, I'll see him again. So that's good. And also, the Father's Heart Ministry, pastors Russell and Miss Kitty, okay, they are prophets. They're true prophets of the Lord. Elvi Zapata, okay, he is a true prophet of the Lord. And there's also another fellow, I just started watching him. His name is Calvin. I don't want to mispronounce his last name, but it starts with an M, as in Mary. I think his last name is, I don't want to say it because I don't want to make a mistake. It might be Meruku or Mireku, something like that. But forgive me, Calvin, if you're listening. I don't mean to mispronounce your name, but I will get it right. And then I will tell the people. Okay, so now it's time to transfer these guys. So yeah, you guys listen to these prophets, okay? Listen to the prophets. And also, if you guys want to hear the daily prophetic word, okay, just get on the internet and look up the Father's Heart Ministry. The Father's Heart Ministry, or go to YouTube and you will find them there. But you can also find the Father's Heart Ministry under the pastors who run it. Okay, Russell Walden. Okay, so Russell, that's R as in Robert, U as in up, S as in Sam, S again as in Sam. Russell, Russe as in Edward, double L as in Larry. Okay, so Russe double L as in Larry, and that's Russell, and his last name is Walden, so that's W like water, A for apple, L for Larry, D for dog, E for Edward, N for Nancy. Okay, so Russell Walden and his wife, Miss Kitty Walden, her name is spelled K for cat, I for intelligence, T for Tom again, Y for yellow. So that's Kitty, Kitty Walden. So you look them up on the internet and then you start following them. They give the daily prophetic word every day. They give the prophetic word for the month, and they give the prophetic word for the year. Okay, it's very important, and you will receive instruction. Okay, the true church of Christ, this only qualifies for the true church of Christ, because people that are walking outside of God's will, this will not apply to you. Because if you are walking outside of God's will, then whatever word the Lord has for his true church, it will not happen for you, because you are outside of God's will. The Lord does not reward people who are operating outside of his will. Okay? So you have to follow the rules and be faithful to the Lord if you want to benefit from what is being said, from the words that are being said by the prophets. Okay? So live for the Lord, and you too can benefit from the prophets. Because in the Bible, there's a verse that says, if you listen to the prophets of the Lord, you will prosper. But only Of course, only if you are living for the Lord. Okay? All right, so... Okay, so I think we're done. Yeah, I think we're done. Yeah. Oops. I was just about to touch them with my hands, but no, we're done. So now I've got to get those other ones in there. So okay, folks. So I'm hoping you guys enjoyed my tutorial on how to. Can you see it well here? I don't know. How to make these squishy patacones. Can you see it well? Sorry about the glare because the sun's shining. Yeah, so that's how you make the patacones, okay? You just do what I did in the videos, in my segments, and you'll get them too. Alright, now it's time to do these ones over here. So, hope you guys had fun listening to me talk and watching how to make Ecuadorian patacones. Okay, girls and boys, we are done. Now I'm gonna eat some. Yum, yum, yum. Alright, so see you. God bless you all. Hallelujah. Amen.